Are you stuck in elo hell? Is ranked keeping you down? Doesn't seem like you just can't climb out, or whatever elo you're currently stuck in. Well, today we'll cover how to escape elo hell, how to carry in low elos. I coached professionally in this game, and I coached actually since the release of the beta more and more people. I would assume that COVID would do something to people's economy, but clearly not. And there's some key mistake that I see in the elo between like high gold all the way down to iron that I want to make sure that we eliminate, so you guys can hopefully rank up, improve, and get better at the game. Hello my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Of course, if you like this type of video, click like on the video. It really helps against the algorithm. I'm a small content creator that's trying to break out into the Valorant scene, but I'm competing with big guys like the Tatman, Summit, and Shroud. So of course, a like really helps. Same go for comment down below. What do you want to see more of in the future? Do you like this type of content? Any comment really is very much appreciated by me. I read every comment, and of course, helps against the algorithm as well. And if you'd like this type of content, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for the amazing support. And of course, if you want to rank up, improve, and get better at the game, if you want to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Go to our Discord server, link down below, which you should join anyway. It's an amazing community. And send me a private message here, and we can set up a session. Doesn't matter what rank you are or what agent you play. As long as you can get a VOD to me, I can help you rank up, improve, and get better at the game. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see when I'm coaching people is people being scared. And there's a difference between playing safe and holding an angle and waiting for information, right? Like, you should not just rush and rush into, 3 or 4 team enemies that's just locking down an area. But you should also not be scared. You should not just hide and let the enemy team push you and peek you and just constantly dominate the map and choose when the engagements are. You should play offensive. You should peek and play fast, because if you do so and you have the right mechanics, which we will cover in this video, how to get right mechanics and how to just make your gunfights and firefight just so much easier and so much more in your favor. But if you don't play aggressively, then you won't catch the enemy by surprise. There will be so many situations where you won't be able to capitalize because you're playing too far back. So let's go over a couple, like 3 examples quickly of where I do this in just random solo queue matches, and check out what actually went on and why that kind of play style can be very, very beneficial for you. So here's the first example. We are playing Ascend here. There's been a call essentially that we have scouted that the entire enemy team is not on A. I pushed in here and actually spent a flash just to make sure I can enter properly. And notice how much space I claim after. Instead of just defending down on site, how much space I claim. It's currently at 3v3. Very losable. We are here gonna close. I'm just gonna close the door. Just gonna pre-fire just a little bit. Push up here and claim. I wasn't sure. We knew there was players mid, so therefore I pre-fire, right? I know they haven't really had time to get up here. I somehow mess up jumping on a crate, and then I push up here, right? So I'm playing a little bit slow because I'm actually not sure if there's enemies here. I'm gonna pull out the flash and just run with it, right? I'm pulling it out. Hopefully, I know just by knowing generally in the match that they are not going to be on ramps. They're not going to be like right close to the corner, but they might be on ramps by this time if they move fast through mid. So I'm going to run up, flash, and immediately peek it aggressively, right? My crosshair placement logically just snaps onto here. There's nobody here. Okay, so instead of pushing here, I push a little bit up and decide to just molly it to slow down whatever push, because I heard that there was movement in gardens. So I kind of going to take this, see if there's an angle, and I'm going to just kind of hold this. And I'm kind of in a bad position because I understand that there's people from gardens, but there also is probably somebody moving up ramps. So I'm kind of in a spot where I'm pinned. So notice how aggressively I play here. I'm going to go here, and they're going to shoot open the glass. So now I know, okay, they are shot up in the glass, they're trying to kind of entry, maybe jumping up at these crates. So instead of now waiting and falling back and trying to hold an angle, which they will predict and swing and then pre-fire and peek me, because it's their default positioning to hold the top, right? Instead, I'm like, okay, you know what? They have rifles, but I'm going to peek aggressively. So I got to catch the Cypher by surprise, and then I catch the Sage by surprise, and then I immediately swing ramps because I'm expecting somebody to be ramps, right? I knew there was 3 people left. I knew that these guys were probably waiting to push together. So I do 1, 2, he was mid-reloading, he didn't expect that, and then 3. And he also didn't expect it. Instead of letting them push me, I push them. Here's another example. It's also on Ascend. I do believe this is a rank game. and I'm playing with an op here. So I'm just opping, and I want to hold this angle a little bit aggressively, right? So I'm trying to peek, you know, minimalistic, right? So I try not to peek, you know, too wide. So I'm kind of just holding this angle a little bit. I'm just holding it. They haven't really peeked there before, so I'm not expecting. I'm just hoping, right? They push out right side, which they've done throughout the entire map. Always remember to try to kind of learn how the enemy will like to push, right? I'm holding this angle here, and this race, even though I do believe this is, I'm not sure if this is a gold or platinum player, I don't remember which game this is, but I take a shot here, I get this player down, that's great and all. I'm a little bit scared of getting pushed, but I know it probably won't happen, as this is mostly cleared, but I do know there's people over here on B site. So instead, I'm going to rotate now over to B site. I know that my back is mainly clear, I'm at least gambling that is. This guy pushed me. I see another one. I try again to push aggressively, right? He's not expecting to get pushed here, so he's moving and trying to kind of rotate, and therefore missing a lot of his shots. I take mine. I also miss. And now again, instead of falling back now and I'm playing this passively, I'm going to push up here. I'm going to flash, toss it, and push. And you notice that he tried to do the same thing. But because I'm pushing him, he misses the flash because I'm too far forward, right? So I don't really get flashed, but he gets, right? Allowing me to secure that kill. The last one is just claiming doors here on Haven. Very, very common thing to do. I, of course, pick the Phantom because it's going to be CQB fighting all day long, right? I'm kind of going in here, clearing a little bit distance, just holding some of my angles, right? I don't really see anybody, so I'm like, okay, there's nobody really here, right? I've cleared the majority of it. There might be somebody top, but I held windows for quite a long while, so maybe they'll peek, maybe they won't. I'm still going to kind of try to clear it a little bit. Wait, nobody there? Okay. So logically, last angle is going to be into my left. I'm going to clear it close and then swing, pre-fire, get him down, break his fire, right? And now, again, because I'm playing so aggressively, I get to pick off the Omen, which goes 2 of mine, right? And now I go top, and again, I'm pushing, right? Clearing my right side, getting and also getting the Sage. Putting it aside here, side should be cleared. I'm just, crosshair placement is dumb. I hear Raze ult. Right, so again, instead of not falling back and playing Gaston and hiding and blah, 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 right, I hear Raze ult. So I push close to the wall, I drop a vision arrow aggressively, and notice that I want to play close to this wall now, to a certain extent, so I can quickly swing. I see Raze coming, and I peek her aggressively, and can take her out before she can take any of my team out, right? If I play further back, she might get the ult off, might get a pick, and put us in maybe a, because this guy's rotating a little bit slowly through mid, might put me in a 1v1 here without my teammates. So instead, playing aggressively, pushing, and of course good crosshair placement allows me to take this opportunity, right? If not, then if I hadn't pushed this aggressively, then these two people on mid who died to the Omen, this Omen might not have been punished, right? And that could have been a huge issue. If he wasn't punished here, then that would have been another player alive on top of it. So the fact that I was pushing and aggressively, clearing my stuff, of course, somewhat taking time, but, right, so I wasn't just rushing full speed in, right? I spent a long time actually clearing doors here, making sure that I was somewhat safe, right? But the fact that I was going in aggressively enough that I could secure kills and actually constantly pushing them, where they didn't expect it, right? The Sage didn't seem, she expected that there was going to be somebody indoors because she saw 2 kills, right? But I don't think it didn't look like she was expecting me to be there, right? Because she was still pushing up here, trying to claim windows. So it doesn't seem like somehow, because she's still pushing here, right? So she's still pushing here, trying to kind of get an angle. She wasn't really expecting the fact that I was coming out here, allowing me to shoot first, allowing me to get the kill. Now, next tip is incredibly important. That is, don't overuse your abilities. That's something that I struggle a lot with when I came back from into this game from Overwatch, because in Overwatch, it's so custom to constantly burn abilities for pressure and engagement. It's just such a common thing, as the heroes are mainly built up by the abilities, and the kind of primary fires are a lot of times secondary, except a couple of exceptions like Widowmaker. In this game, it's very different. You shouldn't look for, and I see this so much, you shouldn't use your abilities just to use them, like people that smoke off chokes early in the game or use slow orbs early in the game, and you shouldn't look for opportunities to just use an ability just because. There should be a reasoning behind it, and if not, then you should focus on your gunplay, focus on holding the angle. The amount of times I've seen people, or private coach people, when I see them die because they're using an ability in a wrong situation, or just wasting time where they could be pushing for a kill, but instead of just pushing to kill, they're like, oh, now I gotta set up this whole, like, ability thing. It doesn't cut it in higher elos, because in higher elos, as we just discussed previously, you push very aggressively. So if you're not a part of that pushing aggressively mentality, and you are playing passive and kind of setting up your abilities, then all of a sudden you're getting rushed by somebody by Phantom and gunned down, and then, well, that's your carry potential straight out the window. Now, next thing is peeking and aiming, and I'll try to illustrate that the best here. So when it comes to aiming, always you want to try to do two things. Either pre-aim corners, right? So you always want to kind of snap to the closest corner, because that's normally where the enemy will be. There are exceptions, which are these kind of like off angles, like these weird positions, like instead of holding, far over here, I might hold here instead, right? Not all the way in the corner, but kind of like in between here, as he will most likely check this corner first, and then after that, he will all the time check this corner over here. But when it comes to aiming after that, you want to do this kind of pre-aim through a wall. So you don't just pre-aim the corner, but you pre-aim through a wall. So when I'm coming here, right, the first thing there's if you haven't been in this practice range mode yet, there's a corner right here. So I will strafe here and I will kind of like clear it, right? So my crosshair starts by coming out here. After that, I want to start clearing every other angle. So I'm kind of just peeking, and you can see I'm kind of like strafing forward and back, just kind of like peek, slowly peeking everything, right? Putting it kind of on the wall, there's nobody there, and then I take that shot, right? And the same goes, you always kind of want to do this, where you kind of just like snapping to the next corner, kind of like looking for stuff, right? There might be somebody there. I move up here, and then I kind of go up here. Now, then it comes to angles, right? So, number one, this guy cannot see me, but I can see him because I have a wider angle because he's hiding in the corner, right? So, you can see how, like, this spot barely sees me, right? But I could see him for a very long time there. So, if you're hiding in a corner, right, or playing like if you're hiding in a corner, you're playing like kind of this like hiding, almost like scared version of the game, right? Where you, for example, if you're holding this corner here, if I'm holding this corner here, all the way in, if a guy stands here, he will be able to see me. Relatively easy. So if an enemy comes up here, he will start seeing my body and can wallbang me, or, aggressively peek, or, I don't know, fucking solo ult me, right? Because of how the angles works. So you always want to know that, hiding in a corner can sometimes be really smart, right? But a lot of the time, what you don't want to do, just because of that if the enemy is clearing corners, and of course you don't want to clear corners like that, where I'm like, okay, I'm clearing all the way over here. Okay, if I push like this, then it works. But if I take my time to clear all up here and kind of clear out, and then check this angle, then I will have an angle on the guy in the corner, and I can wipe him pretty easily out. Now, the very last tip I have is play off your teammates. And I know that in ranked, and especially in Europe, where there's very low comms and so on, you can't trust your teammates, you can't always do comms, and synergy becomes very weird in second hand. But what you need to remember is the value that your teammate brings, if they're good or bad, and that's how you actually do carry. Remember, if player A, if the enemy is kind of pushing, and there's you and another guy, and you're playing close to your friend, and your friend kind of peeks and he takes the fight, the enemy will now, one, be focused on him and be mid-spray pattern and whatnot. So if he swings, and then you swing with your buddy, then your enemy will focus on your buddy, and you get to just freely gun down this opponent. So even if your friend dies and get headshotted or doesn't do any damage, misses everything, he plays bad, he's still an asset because he's still dragging attention and aggro away from you, where you can play off that. The same goes for stuff like a Sova drone or a raised boombot. These abilities will kind of be, you control this out, like you can peek with a Sova drone, because a lot of people will start shooting the Sova drone. And if you then play close to it and kind of play close to the corners and let it clear, one, it will get you intel a lot of time, and second of all, it will allow you that when they are shooting at that and they are mid-aiming and spray transferring at that, they're not guarding their angle, so you can easily swing and take them out. Same with boombots, which are far more aggressive. It will, one, tell you where they're standing, because it will fly towards one, and second, again, they will be forced to shoot at it, so that's another opportunity for you to peek and take them out. Now, of course, watch out that there's not a lot of other enemies, right, so you don't suicide peek with your buddy, but playing close to your friend or playing close to a teammate, or again, don't, if they're doing something incredibly stupid like pushing or rushing or do the same push for the 17th round in a row, right, if they're doing that, then don't follow, right? Don't suicide. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is, if the scenario occurs where your friend is holding an area and you can somehow back him up and play close to him, you can play off your buddy, so when he get engaged, you can punish those engaging him. One, either saving his life, and two, if he dies, you can get kills. And I want to reference the one that where I talked about being aggressive. where I was pushing through double doors on Haven, and I killed Cypher, and then I peeked Garage to kind of connect into C, and there was an Omen standing there, and he killed 2 of my buddies. And if I hadn't peeked there, number 1, I got a free kill. Like, I could have had horrible aim, and I would still get that Cypher kill, that Omen kills, because he was mid-spray, so he had weird recall that he needed to deal with. And at the same time, he was kind of busy shooting my friends and wasn't paying attention to me. But if I hadn't peeked in there, and I hadn't paid attention, kind of pushed up, and was playing off my friends pushing on the site, then he would have gone, you know, free. But then there would have been 2 picks, and he would have survived, and I would have been in a really bad spot, both, you know, the fact that there was an enemy alive, but also because now there was an additional guy on C that I would have to deal with, that could flank up behind me, or maybe reinforce the Sage, or generally just surround me far more easily. So playing off your friends, knowing that the enemy will be mid-spray pattern, busy shooting your guys and so on, is really important. And the same goes if your team is pushing. What I like to do a lot of time on on Bin, is that I push bathrooms while the other push short. And when I'm playing bathrooms, I can essentially, when I'm waiting for my team to pushing, hey, I'm bathrooms, and they will start advancing through the site, the enemy attention a lot of times, even in like platinum and diamond players, quickly, like, their attention just darts and start looking and focusing on the people pushing and like spending utility and so on and making a fuss, allowing me a lot of time very free angles to take out unsuspected enemies where they are not expecting it. Even though I'm not directly next to my team, I'm still playing off them. I'm playing off their push and what they are doing, and helping kind of understanding how will the enemy team react to my team, and how can I use that to my advantage. That's a core way to carry, because you are not sacrificing yourself. You're staying alive so you can carry all gunfights, you can clutch bomb plants and diffusers, and at the same time, you're using the resource that is given to you. If you have a player that's bad at the game, that doesn't have the mechanics, or just has an off day, or like an off game, and those happens for everybody, right? From pros to novice, everybody has an off game or an off day, right? If that happens, the fact that you can pick up the slack by playing off them and using them as a form of resource, as a form of utility, is super, super, super important, and allows you to carry, win more, and rank up. I hope this video helped. Again, please do like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you like this. It helps again the algorithm, helps promote the video, and share this around if you can. Again, I'm a small YouTube creator. I try to break it out, but it does, you know, again, when you don't have the numbers, you are put at disadvantage at platforms like this. So all support is incredibly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys very, very much. Please do take care of yourselves, stay positive, stay healthy and safe. And as always, my name is Jonal, and you guys keep dating me in your process.